Cortes, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're continuing our deep dive into 2024 NFL draft selections, and we're currently with the AFC North. And today we're going to be talking about those boys in black and yellow, in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and see, besides their quarterback situation, what did they do in the draft to be better? Or are they going to sneak into the play on the 7th seed again and lose in the first round again, and this draft selection means nothing? I disagree. So we all know that Pittsburgh literally did a draft of their own by getting two quarterbacks, one Super Bowl winner and one first round selection. So at least we have that. But let's figure out a way how they can get beyond just that. So, clever segue, I guess. With the 20th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Troy Fanatu, offensive tackle, Washington. I feel like when Troy got drafted by Pittsburgh, it made everyone else that was looking for offensive tackle Green Bay to say, uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Sorry, old song, very old man. So that is how I saw it. When I saw Pittsburgh getting them, I was like, okay, guys, they need offensive tackles. You need to get it right now. You need to trade up or something right now. And some of you are probably thinking, Tampa's not going to get an offensive lineman, but they did. And then Green Bay did, and probably not the one they were really eyeing at for anyway. But Troy going to Washington, he was a major factor in the Washington's successful season, not just the receivers and defensive play, which, by the way, Michigan and Washington literally had like the entire roster of players get drafted. I think they had like both had like the most players drafted in this year's draft, like ever. And it's nice that they both were national championship contenders in the matchup in the end. So great story to see these great players getting picked and going to the NFL and hopefully making that money. So no surprise, he's projected and probably almost guaranteed once his name was announced, he's going to be the starting left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to protect Russell Wilson or Justin Fields or whoever they have at quarterback's blind side. We knew that coming into it. We knew that from day one. And I know there's some Pittsburgh fans out there that are probably thinking, finally, we can protect our quarterback, whoever that may be, and not have to worry about if they get hurt, we're screwed again. So to me, this was not going to say the safest pick, but it was probably one of the smartest picks of the teams, and they got him at 20. I mean, I didn't think he would go that far. I didn't think he would drop to 20th. I think he would have been picked up probably early as 15, as some projections were thinking. So him to drop this far down, Pittsburgh took him up and said, thank you very much. And it shows. It shows. I can't think of the last time Pittsburgh drafted offensive lineman that had this type of attention, besides maybe Pouncey, the center. That might be the one play I can think of in Pittsburgh's history that when he got drafted, I was thinking, yep, there you go. You got a locked Pro Bowler there for a few years. Good luck. Speaking of centers, so after the 20th pick, they did nothing for a while. For obvious reasons, they had nothing else to do. But then with the 51st selection in the second round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Zach Frazier, center, West Virginia. So like I said about Pouncey being the center picked up out of Florida, looks like Pittsburgh was saying we got a tackle, but we're not done yet. Let's get a brand new engine, which I believe the center position is the engine of the offensive lineman. Then again, that's why the quarterback is the driver's seat of the offense, because, it looks like a car, metaphor. I feel like this, and he is another player to projected day one to be the starter, and that's why it wasn't obvious. You all saw the stickers. They all get now stickers. Pittsburgh is fixing this vehicle of an offense. I'm using a lot of car metaphors now, symbolism for it, to make this Steeler team run. Now, I don't know if it's because they want to protect Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, or because they want to get Najee Harris more contributing factors into the game, so therefore they don't have to worry about it. On paper, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense looks on paper like they have weapons. They have, skilled player in the right position. So it's just a question of meshing it together. But if Troy and Zach, who are both going to be the new left tackle and center, thrive in his first year, uh, that's probably 10 plus years of offensive offensive fortitude for the Steelers, and that might help the Steelers become more than just T.J. Watt sacks. We get into the playoff in the last second, we lose badly in the first round to whoever. This might be the start of something great, especially with the AFC North being as formidable as it is. You need to make sure your offense is just as much prepared for those types of matchups in that division. So Troy and Zach, first, I think Troy and Zach are basically our first round caliber players. They just got having to be separated because of player picks. So definitely. And to keep that train going in the third round, I think they got another home run. With the 84th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Russell Wilson, wide receiver, Michigan. This guy, I feel like, was the... I'm not going to say he was a go-to receiver, but I feel like he was the guy that was just like, you need a big play, and you pick the guy who probably wasn't the biggest player on the field, and he did his job well. I feel like his swiftiness was an asset, and his he might be a guy that's bigger in spirit and in strength and confidence than in physical thing. This is a guy I feel like he will take on a truck, lose, but to say, I took on the truck though, and then smile with like his face like all mangled because of the grill of the truck. And that's what Wilson reminded me of. He's just a small receiver who has a big heart. And I feel like with George Pickens already taking all the attention, for good or for bad, you want to take it as you wish on that one, I think he will come in and do it. But also, you got Scotty Miller, another small receiver, but with speed. That I feel like that Russell Wilson might be using Wilson and Miller probably way more than we're thinking right now. And then we'll see what happens with George Pickens. We know he's going to be the number one receiver go-to guy. We know that. But Van Jefferson and Wilson and Miller, that might be the four receivers you need to keep an eye on. Especially Scott Miller. If he still has that home run go-get speed, whew, just watch. Especially in the slot position. We'll see. Wilson coming in here in Michigan, I feel like I'm feeling the same way I feel about Burton when in Cincinnati. There's just something about him that makes me feel like don't underestimate him just because of his physique. Don't do that. Don't do that. And don't underestimate him if he played at Michigan when we all know that J.J. McCarthy got criticized for his not really being a quarterback since the offense game was heavily built on the run. So just watch. Just watch. I feel something here. I feel something here, okay? Just I feel it. Then we go to, well, after 3 straight offensive selections, Pittsburgh went back to what they know best, defense. And with the 98th selection in the 3rd round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Peyton Willis, linebacker, North Carolina State. Now, I'm going to give credit to Rich Eisen, because it was Rich Eisen on the Rich Eisen show that introduced me to Peyton Willis. I heard of him. I seen him when I watched some game of North Carolina State games. But Rich Eisen brought him up because every time I felt like this team needs a defensive player, this team needs a defensive player, this team needs a defensive player, linebacker, Peyton Wilson was always viewed as, especially late in the 2nd round, he was viewed as best available. But then during the whole broadcast, they kept talking about his injured history, his injury resume, his medical papers, just kept talking about this guy's injury history that I feel like it really scared a lot of teams away. And I cannot help but feel like the right team got him in Pittsburgh. I just felt that if he thrives, Pittsburgh seems the most appropriate team. They live and die by the defense. And especially lately, they live and die by the T.J. Watt. Let's be kind of real, and Fitzpatrick in the back end. This just feels like a Pittsburgh pick. Now, I'm not gonna say this is a charity pick. I'm saying that if Peyton Wilson plays to his caliber, then all those. My big example is Frank Gore out of Miami. those 2 devastating leg injuries at the University of Miami, went to San Francisco, and now he's like, what, 5th all-time in rushing, and his career has been so long, and he's been so formidable that people forget that, yeah, he had 2 devastating leg injuries at Miami that pretty much people thought, your career is done, and for a running back. So, I understand injury history in college is a major red flag for a lot of teams, and rightfully so. It's like the Carfax for players. I get this. But if Peyton Wilson can play to his caliber that he did at NC State to make him as formidable as he was projected to be based on scouts, besides looking at the medical thing, Pittsburgh seemed like the best team for him, and I'm hoping he thrives in that and makes an impact right away to be a contributing factor to that Steelers team for the next 10 plus years. That's how I'm feeling. You have Watt on the line, you'll have Peyton in the middle, and then you got Minka at the defensive back department. You have 3 captains on each level of the defense, and that can make Steelers way more formidable than just TJ Watt gets sacks, we get into the playoff, and Minka makes interception in the last second to save us from our season falling apart. He gets a later though, because I really don't want to rush him if he is still kind of nursing injuries. Let's not rush him, and maybe we'll get some playing time, but by week 10, week 12, when it comes to crunch time, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on Wilson. He is currently projected to be a backup to Alex Highsmith, who Alex Highsmith is no joke either. Also, don't forget they got Patrick Queen from the Ravens. So let's not count him out. But I'm saying, if you believe as highly as I believe he is, do not rush him if you don't need to. Let him develop. Let him get comfortable, and then slowly integrate him. But I still believe he'll make contributing factors heavily by at least week 10 and beyond after that. At least by week 10. Week 10, you'll start noticing him more and more by week 10. That's my thoughts. Then with the 119th selection in the 4th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Mason McCormick, offensive guard, South Dakota State. Say it with me now. Level of competition. Another South Dakota State player getting to the NFL, but it's another offensive lineman. Now, he is currently projected, Mason anyway, to be, oh, look at that, he is projected to be the left guard. So literally the whole left side from center to the end is going to be filled with rookies. You're literally building half your car with rookies. South Dakota State, like I said, it's not a slouch school compared to all the small schools. Like I said, Montana and North Dakota State, it's not a slouch school. I think it's one of the best. So this is not a complete like, oh my God, what are you thinking? This is so stupid. Plus, I said before, I believe that if teams draft players from small schools like South Dakota State, Northern, Texas, Compton, blah, 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 blah school, the one that have like State and Tech in the same title, excited of course, then it's going to be saying that you are something special, that we're willing to use one of our picks to get you because you have something special in you. And I feel like not only just getting him, but you're literally saying, you're a starter, congratulations. This offensive lineman is going to go through, trial and error in its first few weeks, and then we'll see what happens down the line. But for all I know, this could be the new formidable front of the Steelers offense for the next 10 years, and we're seeing it being developed right now in 2024. Really exciting times. Much appreciative. Looking forward to Mason make some noise in that offensive lineman. Then they did nothing for a while until the 6th round. And with the 178th selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Logan Lee, defensive tackle, Iowa. I don't know how many of you actually watch Iowa football, but Iowa has had an offensive problem for probably right after TJ and Noah Fant left Iowa. I feel like the offense of Iowa has just been atrocious, but their defense has been phenomenal. But somehow they just can't get the offense right, and that means including they can't get the quarterback right. For whatever reason, nobody wants to go to Iowa and play quarterback for whatever reason, which I don't get that, and I don't know why. No matter how hard I try, something song or lyric remember in my head. So Seeing a defensive player out of Iowa, I'm thinking, okay, you got a defensive player, you got a interior defensive tackle. Pittsburgh does run a 3-4 defense, so Logan Lee is probably projected to be a defensive end. Now, Cameron Hayward, we all know that he's on his end of his career. He has done a phenomenal job in his career out of Ohio State. I'm actually still surprised that he's still around. We'll see how much more he has to go. So Logan Lee and Dean Lowry are projected to be the backups behind him. So we'll see Hayward, during his season, we'll see what he can do. But right now, I feel like Logan Lee just needs time to develop. He might get some rotational, maybe get some heavy package formation on show yards and goal line situations. But I'm not looking at Logan Lee thinking, just ride the bench, enjoy your rookie season in relatively peace. I'm thinking, get your helmet ready, get the plays going. Hayward is a senior when it comes to NFL players that, not saying injury, but don't be sleeping in case, you get in. So keep an eye on that. And then Pittsburgh's last pick with a 195th selection in the 6th round. In the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers selected Ryan Watts, cornerback, Texas. Now, I know they got Joey Porter Jr. and he was great. Dante Jackson is projected to be their other corner. But I'm going to say that Ryan Watts could be a now. Rotation scheme-wise, a now. Not to give too much praise on the team, but Washington, Alabama, Michigan, they made the playoffs. They were against the top level competition. Both had great years. And I feel like the players that were starters for that year contributing to keep, their opponents, whether it's on offense or defense, in check. I have to at least give some credit that they know how to win as a team, and they know how to do their jobs as a team. And like I said, Pittsburgh, when it comes to defense, I just feel like it makes sense. So that's why I'm giving Ryan Watts a now sticker, because I believe, even though, yes, he's projected to be behind Joey Porter, don't get mistaken that if teams come out with a 4-receiver set against them, that Watts might be part of the 4 cornerback set to cover receivers in the slot to help out with those type of situations. Do not think that might not be a case. So that's why I'm giving him a now sticker. He knows how to play on a winning program. He was successful last year, and I'm just putting it all together and projecting that he may get some playing time now. And hell, he's projected to be a backup. And we all know when it comes to corner, fresh legs, that sometimes you just need a breather or two. And Watts will come in and keep the same intensity. That will contribute to his development later in life in the NFL. And who knows, maybe become Porter and Watts, in the next 5-6 years down the line together as a tandem. Who knows? But I'm feeling confident that this pick, as late as it is, does not necessarily mean he's not going to be contributing within the first 8 weeks. That's why he gets a now sticker. So, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers draft selection. My grade for them, sadly, it's going to be better. The division is tough. The conference is tougher. They have made the playoff with less than they probably would like to have, and health was a factor as well. So we'll see what preseason offers, but as of right now, they are a better team. Can they make the playoffs? Probably the same way they did before, make the 7th seed, maybe make the 6th seed. But as for competing for a division against the Bengals and the Ravens, especially if Burrow and Lamar Jackson stay healthy and stay vigilant, it might be best to say go for the 6th or 7th seed and go from there, my friends. That might be the best case for them. But the whole AFC North had winning records, so and the Steelers probably had way less talent than they have now and health factors. So keep an eye on the Steelers. They get they can make the playoffs, but I do not see them as conference contenders, and that's why they get a better. And that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens to conclude the AFC North and see what have they done in the draft to make them return, hopefully, back to conference contenders again, and maybe home field advantage. And so until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you very much for watching.